cosmic wave. Let's give a big round of applause for Lightstar.
Thank you, everybody, and I'm so excited to see all these shining faces here. I just want to bless and thank Suzanne and everybody who has just been giving the most amazing presentations. Has it not been awesome? I mean, some of you are new here today. I see some faces and some new faces that have come in. So I want to welcome you guys all here. And I also want to thank everyone here who put the prayers out. My other half, Stanza Fair, is sick with bronchitis. And so he's unable to make it today, but he sends his love, and I know you guys sent a prayer to him. Thank you so much for that. Continued prayers are always welcome. So just want to say thank you all for that. I am going to do something today that's going a little bit later. I'm going to do some activation. And the activation is going to be light language activation. So it'll give you guys a chance to integrate, to activate, to awaken, to inspire, whatever is meant for you guys. But I'm going to talk, before I do that, I want to discuss something that is going on for everyone, and that is this topic that I'm teaching about, which is metamorphosis. So we are all going through a massive metamorphosis. And the reason why I chose that word, and actually the image here, that's just going to be this one image the whole time, but she is going to be activating you guys. It is Lyra. She is on one of my oracle cards, as well as actually one of my art creations. And she is on the card of transformation. And I kept receiving some information. It's been at least going on for 6 months, if not, but more prevalently in the last few months, that this idea, this concept of metamorphosis, this shift, this change, just keeps coming up. Every place I look, I might have heard the word metamorphosis, or someone's going through this, or seeing this shift happening in our own personal lives, as well as the collective. So we've been talking today, everybody's discussing about how we're changing and how everything's happening in the collective. And I don't want to forget about the personal lives that we're all going through this massive shift. And we're being asked, I believe this coming year, even more, to step into your own power, to empower yourselves, and to step into the true butterflies that you are. But one thing that is very interesting to me is that the concept of the butterfly itself. Sometimes we think of a butterfly shifting and changing. We think, oh, well, it just happens. It goes into a chrysalis and then boom, just becomes a butterfly. We don't actually go through and see what has caused that butterfly. What was the butterfly's transformation? What was the butterfly's life before it became this beautiful colors? And it's really interesting because I looked into this and I was like, wow, I didn't even know this happened. So I suppose if someone's a botanist or biologist, they probably know more about it. But the concept of what happens when a butterfly, before it becomes a butterfly. So when it starts out as an egg and then shifts into the chrysalis phase is the kind of interesting part for me, for everybody's internal shift. Because the butterfly, or actually the caterpillar, before it even comes out to being a butterfly, has to go through at least, and I think it's at least 4 or 5 shifts and changes before it even gets to the chrysalis. Okay? So what I'm saying with this is the egg comes open, the little caterpillar, tiny little thing, like this teeny tiny thing. And what is its main job when it first comes out of there is to eat. As much eating as possible. Which probably sounds like a great thing, because it doesn't have to worry about weight or any of that. But what happens is that first little section where he starts just eating, nourishing, and getting all this, more and more information and then it starts to do what? It goes to a process called Instar, and it's a process where it sheds its skin. it ate too much, right? Now it's got to create a whole new skin. And so it goes through the process of metamorphosis. What is metamorphosis? Is transition, changing form. And it goes through this change and this form into another bigger caterpillar of kinds or sorts. And as it goes through that process, what does it do again? Eat. It goes through the process again. It eats. The caterpillar gets a slight bit bigger, and then it sheds again. And it goes through what, again, instar process. So it goes through this 5 times. Now, does anyone see a correlation here in our lives and what we go through? Think of yourselves as that little caterpillar who's going through, and I'm making this sort of analogy here of bites, as the caterpillar is taking a bite, that's your decision processes. That's your nourishment that you gain, or the spiritual knowledge that you gain. So you keep eating and keep biting and keep making decisions and keep growing and keep getting bigger, and then you have to shed the skin of the old self. So what I've been seeing happening is this shedding and this constant shedding of the old self and the old skin that has to just be transformed and it has to be released. And the other part to that is that when it gets to the process of becoming the chrysalis, it's finally doing this. Now it's actually not just going in and just chilling out and like, okay, I'll just wait till I become a butterfly. It actually goes through changes even in that process. So the mouth of the caterpillar starts changing into the sucking part of the butterfly. And so it starts to change and morph even in the chrysalis, okay? Now, I'm seeing that a lot of us are kind of in that chrysalis phase. Now, everyone is shifting and changing at different times. I get that. We're not all going through this exact same thing. Some of you are actually still going through that first instar, the second instar, the third instar, and you're shifting and changing. So you have maybe gone to that chrysalis where it's going to be like everything's going to burst forth, and all the colors that you come to be the butterfly are going to now be developed and expanded, and now you get to kind of fly and become into your new, totally new form. So I want to acknowledge all of you for the courage that it takes to actually keep going in this process and to not give up. Does that little caterpillar in any one of those instar phases give up and just say, forget it. I don't want to do this anymore. I mean, we as humans, we feel like that sometimes, where we we're done. I'm tired, I'm going through this is difficult, this is challenging, whatever my personal life is going on is challenging, but we don't give up. And that's the inspiration I want to give you guys, is to never give up. Think of that little guy just eating, because he knows intuitively, innately, that he's going to become a butterfly. It's not like a whole lot of, analyzing, and it's just, that there's something greater, better expansion for yourself. It's there. You may not be exactly right at that moment, but if you keep eating, you keep making those decisions, you keep expanding, that you will get to that place. You get to that place of full expansion and into the butterfly, which gets to fly away. And the colors of the butterfly, I also want to say, not everyone has the same colors, right? You're all exuding different colors, no two butterflies are going to be exactly alike, just like no two snowflakes are exactly alike. Well, no two of any of you are alike. None of you. And so you guys are this unique snowflake, this unique butterfly that has your expression, what you're here to bring. And it's not going to be like anybody else. It's not going to be like anyone. So just be conscious that what you bring forth is your unique way, and not comparing it to everybody else's way and what everybody else is bringing, because you have your unique flair and your unique colors to share with this world. And I want to implore, especially here in Sedona, where we have so many flowering people here that are opening and expanding. But I want to just take a poll here of how many people here have been in Sedona for more than 5 or more years. Just raise your hand. Okay, actually there's quite a few of you. And how many people have just kind of rolled into town within the last few years, maybe? Okay, see, it's like half and half here, is what I'm seeing. Now, what I want to say with that, because we have so much unfoldment here in Sedona, things are happening, people are coming, people are going. I've been here this is going into my 9th year, okay, in Sedona. And that's actually a really long time for Sedona. I don't know if some of you guys know. You have to go through this initiation period before you can be one of the people that actually, okay, yeah, I'm kind of a local now. Because it's an initiation. So for those of you that just got here recently, you're probably going through that, or you will run into people that will tell you that. You know, there's an initiation that kind of goes here. It just goes along with the territory. But what I want to tell the people that have been here for 5 or more years, you guys have been the anchor that has kind of you guys have anchored in your energy, and you're cleaning up, you're some of the cleanup crew as well. Sorry. She's like, oh no. God, not God. No, but really, we are the cleanup crew, and why we say that is this is actually a community that is a tourist town. So we know people come into town, they come in for healing. There's a lot of different reasons why people come, but a lot of it is for healing. And so I was just talking about this earlier with someone here. We were saying that sometimes people come here and they do healing work, and they release into earth, they release into the air, to the ethers. And the cleanup crew, which are a lot of the people that actually live here constantly, and have been here, are helping to transmute some of those energies. That's how we keep Sedona also is pure and beautiful and crystalline-based place, right? It's from all the cleanup. So along with the transformations, there's the cleanup crew and the people that are really here anchoring it. And all of you that will be here longer, that just moved here, you will also move into being that cleanup crew as well. And so welcome to the cleanup. It's an exciting and responsibility that we have and we love doing because we love living here so much. So I want to honor you guys all for whatever processes you're going through and whatever time you're going through it, whether you just moved here, whether you've been here. And I want to relate also that the butterfly, the transformation of the butterfly happens one time in its life, right? But we are going through constant, it's like the dark night of the soul. Sometimes we go through that 4 or 5 times in a lifetime, just one lifetime. And so there's many different times when people are going through this kind of process, this transformation, and it's happening at every different stage in our lives here. So again, I want to just honor you guys for all being here, for going through your process. I just want to take a little bit of time to tell you guys who I am, because some of you don't even know who I am. So I actually, or where I came from and how I got to be here, I am a visual attunement artist. I also create my artwork, and I am a celestial channel. I bring through different types of information through audio, through light language, through my automatic writing, through channeling for people in session as well. But what I want to say is I did not start out doing this. And Megan said it too earlier, where she was sharing her story about how she's gone through this process of having people say things earlier in life, like, hey, you're going to be doing this, or hey, you're psychic, and you're just like, what are you talking about? And I completely can honor and relate to that story, and I know a lot of you guys have. As your gifts come out, you may not actually have known that that was your gift. When maybe someone told you, maybe you had, something happened, but you kind of went, no, I'm not going to be doing that. I was in corporate, okay? That's my background. So just like her, just like a lot of you guys, coming from a very, very corporate background. I was in, I was marketing communications, but I worked for a forensic engineering, construction, for actually cleanup, so it's a disaster restoration company, one of the largest, well, it actually is the largest restoration company in the world, called Belfour, and that company and all the other industries that I work for between forensic engineering is as dry to be, and as far away from any of this as you could think about. So just wanting you guys to know that, because I had no idea this was coming. And that's what I think happens when a lot of us are beginning to open up and unflower and unfold and awaken, and we don't know what's coming. We don't exactly know what that's going to look like. So when I was living in Colorado for 15 years, basically, and I loved the people I was working with. I will say it's just the industry was very dry. There was no spirituality involved. They were very nice people, so I have nothing bad to say about it. It's just that there was no talk of spiritual anything, at all in that industry. So it was a very different world. And so for me to, it was about 2009-ish when the market started crashing, just crumble, and the world of like losing your job and losing your house and everything was just up and personal for everybody. And I hung on for just a quite bit longer with the companies, but eventually they did let me go. And I knew about a year before that actually happened that I was going to be having a change. I just, how when you know something should change and that you're supposed to change, but you're like, no, I want to hold on, I'll just maybe just a little longer until the universe or the events open up in your life that say, sorry, rug pulled out from under you, and boom, there you go, it's time. So a lot of us have had that experience, that rug pulled out from under us, and then we're just left going, what do I do? So I knew it was coming. I didn't know how it was going to happen, but when it happened, I had a feeling, okay, this is a time for me to unfold into that new, going into that little morphing, not quite chrysalis phase, but still another one of those instar type of caterpillar moments where I just had to shed the skin, the old skin of that. And so it's funny when people say that they moved to Sedona and they meant to move here, and they were like, yeah, I'm going to move to Sedona. For me, I had no intention of coming here. I had no real intention of staying here, I should say. I was just traveling, trying to figure out what I was going to do next. And I was going to a conference here in Phoenix, and it was hand analysis. I don't know if any of you guys know Beth Davis, but she does a very unique type of hand analysis that it's a little different than palm reading, so it's she goes into more depth with it. And she also is a speaker and presenter. She's doing a lot on life purpose. And so I decided to sign up for that in Phoenix. And when I went it was a great event, and it was awesome, met great people. But there was some analysis done on my hands during that time. And one of the things that came out from that analysis was this thing that they call it big shot artist in the spotlight. And at that time, I was like, what? Are you crazy? I'm like, what I felt like? I felt like, small shot graphic designer, sitting behind a computer. That's what I felt like, not what was in my actual palm of my hand, apparently. So it was something that I just shuffled off into the back of my head and just thought, there's just no way. I'm not going to step into that. And, all this other stuff that came out, I just shuffled it away. But when I was here, in Phoenix anyway, my thought was, well, maybe I'll go to Portland, maybe I'll go here, I don't know. Well, I came to Sedona just for a short, brief time, just to okay, I'll hang out here. Well, things that, when you come to Sedona, things start dropping into your lap and shifting and changing and all these synchronistic events. I'm meeting these people, this drops in here, that drops in here. Really? I'm supposed to? So I decided, all right, I'm going to stay maybe 6 months. I'll do some healing work on, because this is a place to do healing. I'm like, I'm going to anchor in, I'm going to really shift and move into doing what I think I'm supposed to be doing, which I don't know what that is exactly. But I think I'm supposed to be doing something with intuitive work. So I'm going to just do that, hunker down. And I did that for six months, which has now turned into almost 9 years. So this is an example of sometimes when you think you're only going to be here for a little while, and then just things change. So the events unfolded, and when I came to Sedona, this is the place where all of my intuition just kind of came bursting forth. It's all in there already, deeply buried within there, very deeply. The empathic side of me was about the only side of me that I really knew was there, but didn't know what that meant, because the intuitive empath inside of me was extremely intuitive empath as a child, but I didn't know it. How many of you guys were really intuitive as a child, but you had no idea until later? Okay, almost all of you guys. So this is really common. And it's really not our parents' fault. We can't totally blame them because they really didn't know any better. They weren't taught it either. So we have to realize that our unfoldment of our empathic side, this intuitive side that we already have, that we already are, sometimes may not come out until later in life. And like when it does, now we have to unravel all of the what ifs, how did that happen, now I understand why. When my parents were, saying, everything's going to be fine. Yeah, it's all good. Everything's fine. But yet you're feeling like, no, it's not. I'm not feeling the same thing that your face is showing me. And why is that? You start to realize, now I get it. Now I understand how I was feeling this, really what's going on. And yet the faces are all showing something different. And so we look at today and we realize that sometimes you walk by somebody and they're like, how are you doing? Oh, I'm fine. Everything's all great. And they're smiling. And sometimes you're just like, oh, but you're feeling like, no, I'm so sorry. You're feeling sad, or you're feeling whatever different emotion that is that they're actually having on their face. And you start to realize that's just my intuitive sense really feeling behind the surface. So honoring and anchoring in that gift in itself, and that honoring and acknowledgement that you actually are feeling something, and yet you actually do acknowledge your own feeling of what is going on underneath the surface. That is so precious and so important. I can't even tell you guys, because most of the time we're thinking it away by going, well, it's just in my imagination, or oh, that was just something I thought, but no, it's not real. Yes, it is. So we want to embrace our gifts. These are our gifts. It's not like we have the gifts and nobody else does. These are our gifts. These are our gifts to anchor, to share. So that's where I started, and now obviously it's unfolded into much more doing this kind of work. And then the starseed stuff started to unfold. And I started to really tune into the otherworldly through my artwork, I will say. But I would also say that dream time for me has been the largest area that I receive these psychic impressions or contact or any of that. How many of you guys dream and you remember your dreams? Okay. Well, it's really, these are not just dreams that we just go, whatever, it's a dream. No, it's not. Even the native cultures, they believe that the dream world is more real. That's the reality. That's the real world. This is just kind of the illusionary world. And I tend to agree with that based upon my own dream state. And we are becoming empowered through our dreams. So much so. I mean, this empowerment is happening like crazy. So I can tell you there's a shift, and this is also this metamorphosis that we're going through, this change, this shift into a higher, more spiritual responsibility. And I'm going to share an example of that, because we are asked right now to step up to a higher form of choice and decisions in our life that not only are making decisions for, where we used to make decisions a little bit more from a place of I, me, okay, this is what I want, this is, what I'm going to do, to no, now it's kind of like a broader sense of what's that service to humanity, what's the service to all, what's the service and the highest, best good for everyone, for all that is. That's the kind of questions that we're now asked. So I'm going to give you an example of this in some of my dream life here. So this was probably about a year or so, year and a half. I had this dream that, and a lot of my dreams have been precognition over time. I've had dreams ever since I was young, but the ones specifically, the last 10 years become very, very precognitive. But there are also dreams that I have that serve for empowerment. And this one was to show the example of this empowerment and for how we are to step up to that. So this first dream I had was, okay, there is like this negative vibration, this negative agenda going on with whom all do we have the negative agendas going on with? We've been talking about this, the reptilians and the negative agendas of the reptilians. Well, that was in my dream. That was going on. They were repressing the technologies, they're repressing people, they're trying to control people, manipulate people, all the stuff that we've been talking about, all the things that we already know about was in the dream. And in my dream, I was left thinking, knowing about all of this and seeing it and going, what can I do? What can I do to help the situation? Well, in that dream, I grew myself. I've been actually getting very good at doing vivid dreams and lucid dreaming and going back into the dream and finishing off. I grew myself larger than large, because in your dreams, you know, you have full capacity to do whatever. Okay, sometimes forget about that, but you have the dream. In a dream time, you have the capacity to do anything. So one thing we have to remember is in our dreams that we have full power there. And so I drew that in, grew myself like really super tall, like huge, 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 grew myself taller than the whole situation, and I reached behind the whole entire scene, as if it's a hologram. I reached behind it, pushed the plug, and just shut the whole thing down. And I was like, yes! Like, I felt so empowered, and I was like, yeah, I shut this whole program down, and it's like done, it's gone. I was like empowered, and there was this sense of empowerment that I really felt when I woke up. I was like, wow, because I know that in dream time, when we dream and we bring back that dream time into our waking realities, that actually does help us to empower us and to shift and change us in the 3D world. So I knew I was all excited. You know, this was a great thing, a grand thing. Yes, to shut it down. So, okay, so now we speed up 6 months later. I have a very similar theme in the dream. And this one was, again, negative agenda happening, all sorts of negative stuff happening, trying to keep the people blinded, shut down, you know, just not aware, and all the things that we know are also happening. And in the dream, I was again facing that position of like, wow, I gotta help people. I gotta do this, right? I gotta help them. They have to know about this. They have to understand this, and they don't see it. How am I gonna, do this? And I instantly, in the dream, remembered the first dream. And I rose up, like not only in the first dream, I actually rose up again, but then I stopped myself. And I said, you know what? I have a choice here to make a greater decision for the all. The higher purpose. Not just to me run in there and shut it down, but to the higher purpose. And what I chose, and I saw that, I felt in the dream, people were watching me. They were watching what I was going to do. I was actually being watched by my guides. I was actually being watched by the negative agenda, as well as the positive beings there. Everyone was like, eyes on me. What are you going to do? What are you going to do? And I chose to, it took me a long time. I felt like in the dream, I was like, oh, trying to figure it out. But I actually chose the decision to tell the people to have them make their own choice. In other words, letting you guys know this is happening, this is what's going on, but I'm going to let you guys choose. Do you want to go with me or, come out of this, or do you want to stay in it? Is that for your highest and best good? Maybe you guys need to learn that. Maybe you have lessons for that. I don't know, but I gave the choice, for them, and that felt like it was taking it to a whole different level. So that's why I'm saying we are actually being asked to step up the higher perspective and the higher way of doing things may be different than how we were doing it 6 months, a year, 3 years, 7 years ago. Okay, does that make sense? So, empowering to all. So, I'm going to do some light language. You guys ready for some activation? Okay. So, what I was feeling, I really want to bring through is the Andromedan energy. And when I do light language, I'm going to bring this through. You're just actually relaxing, so don't worry, you don't have to do anything. But just feeling and noticing and experiencing. Don't try to figure it out with your mind. Don't try to analyze it. Just put that mind off to the side and just experience the energy wherever it wants to go in your body, wherever it wants to shift or change. You might feel hot, you might feel tingles. Whatever it is, it's okay. And I'm going to bring in the Andromedan, since there's obviously some Andromedan energy that I was connecting with earlier. So, with that said, you guys, you can close your eyes, whatever you want to do.
Su shi ti kio tan asa, su shi shin akatyushum, pati ini ukasan ewa kaeshi te, su gushan ite, su gushana iti ewa kane, sata yu kushana ipi ete, su kusho okuli ite, sani ichi shi aka, lasa ishuma ate, su kuishi ikima, 但一起可能所有是谁呢？对于神啊，但其一起可能在是一面那爱我他，该类是你受苦，哈你是他阿基瓦，第是呢，独孤个少年谁是那样。
Just take a nice deep breath in, everybody kind of integrate that energy. And just allowing, again, your body to feel whatever it likes to feel, whatever it wants to feel. No analyzing, no judgment. And as I'm bringing these energies through, I'm actually as like a tuning fork. That's how I kind of see myself when the energy comes through. And it reverberates through my body because I can actually feel that reverberation, and then it goes out and allows your guides, your higher self, to extract, to take in whatever it wants to, okay? So, okay, the next one I'm going to bring through is going to be from the Arcturian. Now there's some Arcturian energy here too. Ti kana sati istiti tati kurushiti te anatara atum so tati ishishijana tati tutuku tusina ta antasi into enterite su tu kushiti stiti te akashti umtarari kushishi ta tiri umtar et kurushiti suzu su kushiti sisi antari hata kuti tiri ishuji atana atare su durushite ikre atana tari ituru kuru ursam shiti du karite itu shiti kata sanati su du kushire biatana te okte tari tu shiti ite ushiti kate tu shuna atari pie sha sumeti te tudana taki ti tudana ta tari kushiti te. Take a nice deep breath in, everybody, again. I feel like there's a lot of clearing of the mental space right now with that, so the Arcturians really like to bring in a lot of clearing with mental energies, just clearing away some analytical processes, scattered thinking, shifting the energy. And lastly, I want to bring through the energy of love, because who doesn't need some of that? And the energy of love for me comes through from the Pleiadians. mostly. I mean, they all have love, but this one is the vibration comes through with the heart space the most for me. So just take a nice relaxing breath once again. Me shalai hanai hakela sula taniale me hale sona ale kiumai su shokanile mare sayala kula kani vesanial shelia natile suhukuela same heini ushela Saime Kuela Nesawe Farenhai Suhulari Alane Kalianela Surea Shanaite Wasame Baineala Koelane Suela Amilea Nai Sueshanaleate Kali Kamela. Time for one more, I think. I was feeling I would like to bring through my own mother tongue, which I really don't do, I have not done in the past that often, but I'm starting to do it more frequently to show you guys what that's like. And it doesn't mean that your mother tongue, I have a belief that everybody can speak light language, by the way, at least one mother tongue. You don't have to speak 20 different languages like I do just because I have other roles in the other realms with that. But you can speak at least your mother tongue. Yours might sound different than this, but I'm just going to bring through mine, and it's actually an integrationary language. It's going to go really, really rapid, really fast. So again, don't try to understand up here, okay? Sriyesh Mikrat Kriot Kumashkib, and Idra Kane Suki Mafiyesh Kitkilanetu. She Sunta Krias Kitakagan, Urukashu, Kuria Krensi, Ukuras Nikish Kitarakan, Susukias Karios Kuntakias Ground, Kish Kita Kani Kiturian. The day is short grav, Arias Guru Herigas, and Tate Gerashki. So to Krish Kitakaran, Kriar, Kush Kit, Kate, Kiat Krat, Krish Kutagan. So to Reshki, to bring the so to get the Archie Kitakaran, it's good to Toma, Shudiash. So to get Kitakan, and it's good to bear. Så det att det ska komma där det att kunna nata det och kunna vara det så ska det skickligt grann är och det är känna det och grann. Okay, so everybody take a nice last deep breath in and exhale. Good job. I didn't want to do too many, obviously, because I want to just keep few to the integrationary points for you guys, just to have you have some experience. Hopefully that helped you guys integrate all this material, because I know it's been a lot. So we kind of needed to bring it back into the body, and then have that kind of. So it'll probably assist you from here forth as well. And maybe some of you guys might be inspired to speak your own light languages. Sometimes that happens. From you speaking it, you might end up speaking it, and it might come in your dream time. So you may not remember, but the downloads will come. So I thank you guys for your time, and blessings to all of you, and I love you guys. I'll be here for a while, so you can come back and chat, see my oracle deck, my art, and everything else, okay? Love you guys.